Okay, so on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, things have gotten pretty heated recently. It seems like a lot of it kicked off with that comment Sutton made about Dorit's, well, her wallet.
Right, the tax bracket comment. That definitely landed.
Yeah, she basically told Dorit to go after someone, like, financially on her level.
Yeah.
And then apparently took it even further in a confessional. And Kyle Richards, well, she did not mince words. She called Sutton's comment disgusting. And even Garcelle Beauvais, who, often has Sutton's back, she admitted she just couldn't defend that specific comment.
And when your allies are stepping back, even a little, that really signals that maybe a line was crossed.
Must be. Like, maybe you don't hit that directly below the belt about finances, even if other jads are flying. Then Kathy Hilton apparently talked to Sutton off camera about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And Sutton apparently admitted she wasn't, quote, proud of saying it. And Kathy agreed, like, yeah, you shouldn't be.
So there's some acknowledgement there, behind the scenes at least. Interesting that it didn't stop the comment from happening in the first place, though.
True. But, Sutton didn't just take the criticism. She brought up some past things Dorit had said.
Okay, so retaliation was coming.
She mentioned Dorit apparently kind of implying Sutton had, like, alcohol issues.
Ooh, okay.
And also that comment Dorit made ages ago about Sutton's money letting her buy a horse and not a date. Sutton felt that was a definite dig.
Right. So this wasn't just out of the blue. There's history.
Yeah, exactly. So then Dorit fires back at the wallet comment by going after Sutton's house.
The house. How so?
She said something like, Sutton doesn't exactly live like royalty, and that she lives on a main road. And Andy Cohen seemed completely baffled by it.
Especially given, Dorit's own recent home stuff, the whole pre-foreclosure situation.
And remember, this isn't the first time Dorit's had issues with Sutton's fighting style.
Right, there was that after-show segment earlier.
Yeah, back in March. Dorit basically accused Sutton of always playing the victim, while also delivering these really harsh insults and, like, weaponizing personal stuff people told her. Yeah, she seemed to feel like Sutton gets away with it, that the others just kind of tolerate it.
So she sees a pattern, Sutton attacks, maybe uses sensitive info, but then claims victimhood to deflect.
That seems to be Dorit's take, yeah. Let's dive straight into Atlanta. Seems like a pretty major incident went down involving Kenya Moore and her castmate Brit Eady.
Right, at the opening of Kenya's salon, which was, dedicated to her daughter. So already a sensitive setting.
And the context here is important, right? Earlier, Brit and Kenya had this argument. Fast forward to the salon opening, and Brit tries to make amends.
Yeah, reportedly she brought flowers.
Yeah.
An apology gesture.
But the reports say Kenya just iced her out.
Yeah.
Completely ignored her. Brit trying to apologize suggests maybe she knew she went too far before.
Right, and Kenya refusing to even acknowledge it.
And then it escalated, like really escalated. Kenya reportedly gives this negative speech about Brit.
During the opening, in front of everyone.
And then shows a graphic picture of her. So graphic that Bravo actually blurred it for viewers.
Which is saying something. Bravo doesn't blur things lightly.
No kidding. And the reaction, pretty much what you'd expect.
Outraged castmates, guests just leaving. En masse.
Even Cynthia Bailey, former cast member, she's quoted saying it was the lowest she'd ever seen things get on the show.
And Cynthia's seen a lot. Her saying that carries weight,
Yeah, definitely. Because she has that long history. She knows the unwritten rules, maybe, what's considered, like, acceptable drama versus this.
Exactly. Her reaction suggests Kenya didn't just cross a line. She, obliterated it.
And the consequence for Kenya, pretty direct.
Bravo apparently stopped filming with her for the rest of the season.
That's a pretty drastic step for production. What does that signal?
It signals they saw it as really damaging. Maybe to the event, the show's brand, maybe even legally risky. Suspending a key cast member mid-season, that's significant. They felt they had to act.
And Andy Cohen himself talked about it.
Right, on his SiriusXM show, Andy Cohen Live, he confirmed Brit tried to apologize and what Kenya did next.
So it's not just rumors.
Yeah.
The big boss acknowledged it. This is interesting. Andy's co-host on that show apparently suggested Kenya's actions could be seen as, well, revenge porn, even a form of sexual assault.
Whoa. Okay, that's incredibly serious language.
It is. Andy didn't comment directly on that specific accusation at the time, though.
Which might have been cautiousness, given the potential legal side of things. But even the suggestion.
But Andy did agree with a caller who said Kenya took things way too far. So he clearly saw the severity, even without using those specific terms.
Right. He acknowledged it crossed a major line.
Okay, let's shift gears. Let's head over to Beverly Hills. News around Erika Jayne. Seems like she's facing stress from Multiple angles.
Erika's definitely been central to the RHOBH story for a while, navigating some big storms, personal and legal. Looks like that's continuing.
First off, her friend, former castmate Teddi Mellencamp, is battling cancer. Reports say that's taking a toll on Erika.
Yeah, that's tough.
And on top of that, the legal issues continue. There's this $300,000 lawsuit from designers Marco Marco.
Right, accusing her of falsely claiming they made unauthorized charges on her Amex, like up to $900,000.
That's a substantial amount. Another piece in that whole complex legal puzzle she's been dealing with. We got an update from her lawyer, Jim Wilkes. Apparently, he actually missed a court hearing in this case. Said it was a clerical error, which could potentially lead to a default judgment against Erika.
Ouch, that's not ideal in a legal fight.
No. He apologized to the court, plans to file a new motion, said he's fighting all the way for her. Sounds a bit chaotic, though.
Yeah, a missed hearing is a setback. But okay, he's trying to fix it. His saying fighting all the way shows they're not backing down on those Marco Marco claims.
Wilkes also updated on the other big one, that $24 million lawsuit from Tom Girardi's bankruptcy trustee.
The huge one, yeah.
He said he was, quote, stunned at how Erika is handling the stress. And he declared there's been no evidence in state court cases suggesting she did anything wrong.
But overall, he's painting a picture of her being resilient under immense pressure and, innocent in those specific cases.
Garcelle Beauvais is leaving RHOBH after 5 years.
Wow, okay. 5 seasons is a good run. Why is she leaving?
She cited wanting more family time, her son's last year of high school, when starting a career, plus focusing on her acting and producing projects.
Interesting timing, though. How's the cast reacting?
Well, Kyle Richards reportedly texted Garcelle twice since the announcement. Hasn't heard back.
Okay.
Kyle said it was unfortunate. Garcelle left. Wishes her the best. But Kyle also admitted she's unclear about returning herself for season 15.
That is interesting. What do you make of that? And Garcelle not texting back.
Maybe Garcelle just needs space. Or maybe there was more distance there than we saw. Kyle's uncertainty, though. Maybe Garcelle leaving makes her rethink things. Now, Lala Kent from Vanderpump Rules. She had thoughts, of course.
Oh, I bet she did. Never shy, Lala.
On her podcast, Give Them Lala, she basically suggested Garcelle left because she got put on blast at the reunion and could not handle the heat.
Ooh, spicy take.
Yeah. Lala noted Garcelle reportedly left the reunion early, didn't do the cast photo, and she brought up the confrontation Garcelle had about her comments on Dorit Kemsley's robbery.
Okay, so Lala thinks it wasn't about family time. It was about the drama getting too hot.
That's the implication. Why do you think Lala would frame it that way?
Well, Lala's perspective comes from her own VPR experience, right? Where intense confrontation is just part of the game. Maybe she sees Garcelle's exit through that lens. Like, you can't take the heat. Get out of the kitchen,
Fair point. And the details about leaving early, they do add a layer to consider.
Definitely gives some weight to the idea she might have been unhappy with how the reunion went.
Speaking of that reunion, part 2 just aired. Sounds like there was plenty of drama, especially around Kyle and Morgan Wade again.
Yeah, that relationship or situationship or whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's been the central thread all season. Had to come up big at the reunion.
Andy Cohen apparently called out Kyle, basically saying she wants privacy for her relationship with Morgan. But Morgan's a public figure now. A performer singing about liking older women, getting famous partly because of the Housewives connection, New York Times articles, that music video with Kyle.
Right. Andy pointing out the contradiction there. You can't really have it both ways, can you?
When the relationship itself becomes part of the public story, scrutiny is kind of inevitable.
Exactly.
Elsewhere at the reunion, Dorit Kemsley got questioned for weaponizing Sutton Strack's home situation.
Oof. Using someone's living situation in a fight, that feels like a low blow.
Definitely seems personal and potentially really hurtful. And a feud erupted between Dorit and Kyle. Kyle apparently texted PK, Dorit's husband, about stuff she hadn't said directly to Dorit. So accusations of talking behind her back. Andy even pointed out Kyle wouldn't like it if Dorit texted Mo like that.
Good point. That usually escalates things fast. Creates new layers of drama. It's classic Housewives feel.
And Jennifer Tilly was there.
Yeah.
As a friend of.
Yeah, she pops up sometimes.
And she threw shade at PK's finances. Suggested the Beverly Hills Hotel might be too expensive for him. Kathy Hilton also showed up. Made some memorable comments.
Oh, boy. Like what?
Like Mo looking like he could be Kyle's father. And PK looking older in the past.
Wow. Okay. Maybe funny in their family, but on a reunion stage can sound pretty harsh or insensitive. It's always awkward when family wades into the group drama like that.
Seems like it. Especially regarding Dorit calling Sutton, a derogatory term, and the fallout, accusations of intentionally trying to hurt her.
Yeah, that sisterhood ideal gets tested constantly, doesn't it? It's often presented as the foundation, but the reality is usually conflict, shifting alliances.
Yeah.
Using words like that really shows how fragile those bonds are.
And there's another confrontation between Dorit and Sutton.
What about this time?
Sutton interrupting Dorit, talking about her son and separation, apparently, and some past comments Sutton made about Dorit's wallet.
Okay.
So Dorit hit back, questioned Sutton's lifestyle, even weaponized the fact Sutton lives on a main road.
Seriously. Lives on a main road, that's the insult.
Apparently. But then Andy turned it back on Dorit, questioned her financial situation, mentioned her house reportedly being in pre-foreclosure.
Whoa.
Okay, let's detour slightly. Vanderpump Rules the Valley territory. Tom Sandoval.
Ah, Sandoval. Still making waves, even after appearing on The Traitors.
Yeah, that kept him in the spotlight, didn't it? Sparked new conversations.
Definitely.
So after Jax Taylor admitted his past cocaine addiction,
Right, that was recent news.
some fans started speculating, did Sandoval use too, pointing to his long friendship with Jax and saying Tom was sweating a lot on The Traitors, like maybe withdrawal? But Tom addressed it head on.
He did? What did he say?
Went on the Vile Files podcast, vehemently denied it, said he's never done cocaine, never will. Very clear denial.
Okay, pretty definitive. But given his, let's say, recent history and public perception, some people might still be skeptical.
Fair enough. But what's really interesting here, Kristen Doute defended him.
Kristen defended Sandoval. Seriously, they haven't exactly been best buds.
Right. She commented on a TikTok video about the speculation.
Yeah.
Just wrote, he's not lying. His girlfriend, Victoria Lee Robinson, she was on the podcast too, also denied it.
Okay, so a united front there.
And Tom had an explanation for the sweating on The Traitors, said his luggage got lost in Scotland, and wardrobe gave him this really thick wool sweater to wear. So he blames the sweater.
Okay, well, they have their explanation out there now. Direct response to the fan theories. Whether people buy it, we'll see.
Right. Okay, final stop. New Jersey. RHONJ. There's a report about Teresa Giudice.
What's happening with Teresa? Always something, it seems.
Sources are claiming her recent tax issues, and they sound serious. Like nearly $3 million in back taxes, multiple liens with her husband, Louis.
Yeah, that sounds like a major storyline waiting to happen.
Exactly. But the report claims this is not being filmed for the potential next season of RHONJ.
Wait, what? They're not filming her massive tax problems. That seems weird for housewives. That's usually prime material.
That's what I thought, especially for Teresa, who's been so central for so long. These huge financial things are usually front and center. What could be the reason?
Good question. Maybe legal complexities? Maybe Teresa refused or something else?
Well, apparently this lack of filming is worrying her castmates.
Why? What are they thinking?
They reportedly fear it signals Bravo isn't interested in Teresa's storyline anymore. Or maybe even in the show's future itself. Like, it's a bad sign for RHONJ overall.
Okay, I can see why they'd be concerned. If a main character's major real-life drama isn't being filmed, it could suggest a shift in network priorities. Or maybe they think the audience is tired of that specific narrative. Creates uncertainty for everyone.
An insider told a Cohen magazine, apparently in the past, production would have been all over a crisis like this. Cameras rolling instantly.
Right. That's the playbook.
So the fact that they're not rolling now is seen as very telling. To something of the network's current investment in her story, maybe.
Yeah, that comparison really highlights how unusual this is. If what looks like quality storytelling for the show is being ignored, it does raise questions about Bravo's strategy and where RHONJ is headed.
And the cast is reportedly worrying about the show's future because of this. They see it as a lack of filming potentially crucial content. So it's not just about Teresa. It's hitting the whole cast's sense of stability.
That makes sense. They're all interconnected. If a key storyline involving the main star gets sidelined, it could definitely create anxiety for the whole production.
Meanwhile, what's Teresa doing? Focusing on promoting her Party with a Housewife events. She's got dates in June, D.C., Cincinnati, Chicago.
Ah, the side hustle. Engaging directly with the fans.
Yeah, pushing tickets on Instagram, highlighting VIP perks, meet and greets, Q&As. Looks like she's diversifying.
Yeah.
Is that a common move when things on the show feel shaky?
Definitely. Building alternative income streams, connecting with the fan base directly, it gives them independence and keeps them relevant, regardless of what happens with the show. Seems like a smart strategic move for her, given the uncertainty.
But while some fans are excited, she's also getting backlash in the comments, right?
Oh, yeah. About the tax stuff.
Yep. People referencing the tax issues, accusing her of needing money, calling her a tax-evading grifter, things like that.
Ouch. Well, that reflects the public's awareness, doesn't it? And the harsh judgment public figures face when their struggles are out there. You get both sides, the fans who want to party with her and the critics calling her out. It's that complex reality star relationship with the audience.